What is up, everybody? I hope everyone's having a great Thursday. We have got channel member General Piggy in the house. How are you doing, my friend? It is great to see you. Always thinking about paintings whenever I see your profile, man. It just inspires me to think that way. Timmy Mello, another channel member in the house. Thank you so much for being here, Timmy. Much love. It is great to see you. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day today. We're going to be doing some painting, as we often do. I had an absolutely ridiculously funny and fun evening the other night with Gabe and Jericho on Double Impact. I even made an animation this morning of Jericho's absolutely spot-on Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, it is incredible. The way that guy can riff it's mind-blowing. But I guess that's why they pay him the big bucks, man. He's a legend. He's a living legend. But let me see if I can move the camera here. Sorry, guys. I've been working on a lot of different stuff. You know, getting the book together, working on some illustrations for various projects, including this one. And man, I am so pumped. I'm so excited. And I have to tell you guys, I've been feeling really positive about where things are going in terms of work and in terms of the things that we're doing, because I have to be honest with you, there's several levels of it. There's the enthusiasm, there's the energy of, you know, the audience, there's you guys' energy. What's up, Antoine Dennison? The professor is in the house. How are you doing? Good afternoon to you, my friend. One of the things I keep coming back to is there is no shortage of skill. So that's probably one of the biggest problems that you can have when you're trying to do things like we're trying to do. And we just have absolutely hilarious people, entertaining folks to watch, and we've got skill and quality. And it just lately I've been thinking about the hardest part of all of this stuff is that moment when you have to start getting things to coalesce, when you have to start figuring out how you're going to build things in a way that is going to be sustainable in terms of the entertainment. And while I know a lot of us have worked in concept art and worked in comics and worked in illustration and various things, one of the things that we're all kind of learning to do, or we have been learning to do for the last couple of years, is learning how to broadcast. And I think we're starting to hit this moment, and we're starting to hit this moment to where we're realizing that we don't need to compare ourselves to to just making YouTube content. We need to start comparing ourselves to entertainment programming and how far we can push things. And I was having a great conversation with those guys. What's up, Phil? How are you doing, my brother? It's great to see you, my brother in Pulp. Hey, Shanth, by any chance, were those trailers you composed done by Render Forest? I just started using the app. I don't know what the trailers... I just use Photoshop and iMovie for the stuff I do. So, no, but that sounds awesome. I don't know what that is. Explain it to me. I'm not sure what that is. But yeah, I use Photoshop, iMovie, just simple 2.5D tricks, and then just kind of laying things over. What's up, Anthony Gonzalez Clark? How are you doing? Yo, and good afternoon to you, good evening, or good night, depending on where you're located in this world. I know we've got a global audience here. So one of the things that I was talking with Jericho about a little while back, as far as his show goes, is he was talking about wanting to do some really, cool stuff with animation or I should say, like, being influenced by Ren and Stimpy and those great sort of cuts to those highly rendered illustrations of characters. And it just got me thinking, because ever since I did the Art T-Bear with the fish, with the water moving around him, or any number of the animated things that I've done, the eagle landing on Graham Nolan's shoulder, it's made me aware that we could really be raising our game. I mean, all it takes is skill, will, and money, so it's something I'm going to start, I'm looking to start doing in earnest, because I think that we could all benefit from, having our stuff be thought of in that way. And that's one of the things I've been thinking about for new people coming in, which is really something that's been on my mind lately, is bringing in the new people. How do we make our shows in such a way that people coming into this space and seeing what we do, like Eric July does such a great job. I know I always talk about the Townsends. I think about Grim Life Collective. people who have no idea, who are just drifting in to look at this stuff, yeah, they're going to hear all of the lore and the craziness that goes on and all that other stuff. But just in terms of figuring out what things are, figuring out and entertaining them from the start, as is important to say, make show, as we've often said. And so, yeah, that was a thing for me when I finally settled into this sort of next phase of my YouTube with the speakeasy stuff. I was just like going, I want something that just flows into it. And for those of you guys who are curious, let me tell you about a copyright thing going on. Let me see here. Render Forest creates movie trailer effects. Oh, very cool. Slide picture shows. I'm working on an advertising project for an upcoming comic. So be on the lookout. Of course I will be, Timmy. And I know you'll let me know in the chat too. I even am doing the voiceover. Excellent, Timmy. So yeah, so for those of you guys who know, and it's perfectly fine because it's legit, it's their song. The Gary Oldman opener that I used to do, and it was only a matter of time, got it didn't get like a strike or anything like that, but it got a claim. Like, we're gonna make money off of this video because that song by The Alarm is theirs, and so everything I use that is copywritten is something that, you know, I don't really want to be using. And so the song that I have here, you've probably heard it a few different places, but it's a pretty common song. You can get it in iMovie, and it's you know, kind of copyright free. You don't have to worry about, you know, charging anything for it, and or paying anything for it, or that it's owned. And I just thought to myself, let's just put together the best stuff we can and make sure it's stuff that we own. We don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. And so that's definitely been more of a focus. I know Michael was thinking about that when he changed the Cheers intro, because you're building stuff that you can't monetize. It's like, why would you do that? And you know, the answer is you don't want to do it. You want to be creating your own stuff. 80s made. All right, listen, 80s made. 80s made, you degenerate, you troublemaker. You had me dying laughing the other night. I called up my wife and I couldn't even breathe. I was laughing so hard. And she just, I could barely get it out. I was dying, so I was just cracking up with that tweet. It's great to see you, 80s mate. I hope you're doing well this morning. Thank you, Joseph Dredd. Hail to you, my friend. Hail the chat. Hail the mods, indeed, man. That's how we roll. But that's what it really comes down to. And I think that, you know, it's you go through periods of your channel going through growth, and the same thing goes with your Twitter, and then you kind of figure out, all right, well, how do I reassess what I'm doing? But how do I put it this way? It's not about targeting the algorithm or what's hot or hip or popular right now. At least, you know, for me, I think I couldn't think that way. It's about how do I make the best presentation and entertainment of what I'm doing, and pay attention to what the sensitivities are of different people, and like how they actually, I shouldn't say sensitivities, that's not the word I wanted to use, sensibilities of different people. And there's certain things you can do to keep it simple, and some YouTubers are fantastic at this. And so I'm trying to learn from them as best as I can. You know what I mean? It's a big deal. Yeah, 80s mate. I knew that would crack you up, man. I was just, we were having one of those days where we were just laughing at the madness, and that hit my funny bone. It was like a perfectly timed counterpunch. It was beautiful. It was a thing of beauty, my friend. But yeah, I think that, you know, if we're going to grow this space, it's really not hard. If we focus too much on what other people are doing, I think one of the things that, and I mean, I'm saying this not as if some people, I mean myself, it's very difficult to not get distracted by what other people are doing and just focus on what you're doing. If we do that, we're going to miss out on the opportunity to do things that are so much bigger. And I'll give you a really good example. Hey, what's up, Skunk Artworks? It's great to see you, my friend. When people say, like, talk about, you know, oh, how many people are subscribed to this channel? How many people are subscribed to that channel? How many blah, blah. There are so many people with different interests and different adjacent sort of communities to what we're doing, whether it's... Hold on a second. Why is that out of focus? Hang on a minute here. I want that in focus. I didn't change my setup so it could be out of focus. It's not happening. But there are so many... there are so many different, you know, things, whether it's the horror fandom or, you know, whatever. And they've got, you know, hundreds and thousands of people who tune into their stuff. And I've always believed that just like there's a massive manga artist audience, and there's a massive comic book audience that is still there. It's a country of 300 something million people. That's just the States. That if we start looking towards things outside of our space that are far more successful than we are, you're going to get better results, guys. We're just building, man. And speaking of better results and amazing people, there's Eric Weathers. You guys may not know this, but Eric Weathers, my friend right there, is working full-time for the Rippaverse. Brilliant artist, brilliant letterer. Love this dude. Rock on, Eric Weathers. You're the man. And Eric, are you a mod? Eric, if you're a mod, please drop the link to your email sign up. Let's not mess around here, Eric. We need to get that sign up in there. Ellie Munoz, it's great to see you. Hail Waffles, hail to you, my friend. I should have had some waffles. Steven Rockwood drawing the first, the alpha, the omega, the original channel member. Thank you so much. Yes, guten Tag, Skunk Artworks. Yeah, vielen Dank. Mighty Magic is here. Hail to you, my friend, and hail to the chat indeed. So when I was looking at I was talking to my kid about this because my son is he's one of those people, he knows his tech and he's incredible. And we were having discussions about, being able to stream, what it would take, making videos in 4K, and why I switched up to this, because nobody wants to see somebody paint at StreamYard resolution as it seems to be for me. They want to at least see 1080p. Justin Buckley, my man, the Wayback Machine. It is great to see you, brother. How you doing? Hail to you, brother. Yeah, it's just, thank you so much, dude. This book's going to be sweet, man. I love it. And Eric, thank you, and Skunk Artworks indeed. Hello. What's up? Thank you so much for putting that link in there, guys. Sign up for Battle Brick Road 2. We're working around the system at this point. And just remember, the reason why you want to be back in that book is to hear me do another cheesy, embarrassing, and disavowed by Eric Weathers Battle Brick Road. It's the Battle Brick Road 2, Road to 100K. It's gonna happen, kids. You don't get it twisted. It is gonna happen. That's the kind of thing I say that if my kids weren't here, they'd be like, Dad, please don't use slang. Please stop. But that's the joy of it. The joy is embarrassing your children with your ancient old slang. That is the way to do it. But yeah, man, it's so we've been talking about cameras, we've been talking about like what people want to see. And think about this, if you tune into a channel, and I remember everybody, this is like, allow me to give you advice that might have been new and novel years ago. If people tune into your stream and the audio is bad, they're clicking away. If they tune into an art stream and they can't see what you're painting, they're clicking away. It's that simple. It's not going to work. What is up, Siege Perilous? How are you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, got to be able to see the detail on them. Yeah. Yeah, it's so important, man. It's so important. Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's, by the way, just so everybody's clear, Eric July said so I say we make it so. It's now the great Eric Weathers. I need a clip of that. It's beautiful. You're disrespecting the great Eric Weathers. That's right. Do not get confused. Do not get confused. The great Eric Weathers. Deal. That's what it is. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I mean, so we were talking the other night on Double Impact, and Jericho Green and I have talked about this before. But he was talking about how he was a kid who grew up on Ren and Stimpy, and he grew up on all that kind of stuff. And there's certain in-jokes he has with his subscriber base, which is just insane and massive. And he said, he goes, I'd love to do some art or some illustration for that. And the more I got to talking to him, the more I started thinking the natural thing to do is, in a way, go straight to the source. Because I can do, pretty simple, fun, old school animation kind of stuff with that kind of rendered painted look they did on Ren and Stimpy, and animate it. And that's so important. That's right. Speak respect on his name. Indeed, that's why we speak easy, guys. That's why we speak easy, man. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Sadly, as I was joking with my wife, we're trading in bootleg liberty, but that is what it is, man. But I mean, I think that thinking about the audience that you have not met yet and who you could, how do I put it? My problem I had with, and I think all of us had on some level that problem with with what the corporate studios did is they were like, what about that new audience? And they changed everything they were, which is such an asinine way to do things. But I think a smart business person, which you sort of start to see, goes, how do I grow this thing? How do I take what I've got in Walt Disney's case? I've got Mickey Mouse. Where do I go with these animated shorts? They're not paying the bills. Well, I've got to make a feature animated film. That's the smart version of it. And so that's what I think we need to be doing. You know, that's what we need to be doing. Indeed. Yeah, hail. So it's definitely, it's a lot of work because, as I've said before, no matter what we were doing skill-wise, I don't think that we realized we would be broadcasters or creating programming, you know, creating visual stuff. And it is, we're walking and chewing gum. It's a lot of work, and you have to keep all your plates spinning. That's about as many metaphors as I can cram into into that sentence. And we're writing, we're creating, we're doing all of it, but that's what we have to do at this point to kind of reach, that kind of breakaway speed. And that's something that, this is the hardest part. Like, the support that we get right now from you guys is probably the most important thing, because we've got to reach a big audience. We've got to be doing professional stuff, and all we've got is basically, whatever financial support we get from you guys, our skill, our guile, and our ability to, to sort of work our tails off. No pun intended. And, but it makes for exciting conversations. So, it's a little blue. That's the problem. But, because, if you've ever heard, Jericho do his Arnold Schwarzenegger imitation, it's a little blue, as is necessary. But, the animation I did, I sent the guys that, and I was like, guys, check this out. Like, this'll affect you spiritually. It will leave you in a weird place. And so, yeah, that was just a couple hours of work when I was winding down my evening. Just make it happen. I also had a very strange experience. I was looking at a Frazetta piece that I've looked at 1,000 times and realized for the first time there were too many ab muscles on it. Doesn't mean I'd kick it out of bed for eating crackers, but that blows my mind. Yeah. Like and tweet this out. Thank you so much, 80s Mate. I do appreciate it, my friend. Yeah, hit that like button. We got 21 people in here and 6 likes. That's a travesty. That's a crime. What's happening? Why? Why would this happen to us? Why would this happen? It's strange. I don't know what to make of it, folks. I don't know what to make of it. So, let's see here. All right. But yeah, I've heard many an Arnold imitation, and Jericho's is sublime. I mean, I don't even know how he does it, man. He's got skills for days. So yeah, with this channel, I mean, there's everything like the channel members' credits and things like that. I learned that from looking at Echo Base Network, a great bunch of guys. Every interaction that, I mean, I haven't met them, but I know Nick goes way back, and maybe Coach was there too, to that way back when Fandom Menace meetup. I think it was in Chicago, way back when. I don't know if you guys remember that. He's actually the first person that talks to Ethan when he gets out of the cab. He's like, "Are you Ethan?" When Ethan and Andrea pulled up to that thing, and I think Andrea was there, and yeah, it was. They go way back, but they do a channel member credits. They show their tiers. That's some smart stuff, man. That's some smart stuff right there. And I thought it makes you feel good to see all of your backers, getting recognized, And hail to you, Agent Zero Studios. It is great to see you, indeed. Everybody's saying hello, hello, hello. That's what we love to see here. But that's what I really want to. I'm spending a lot of time thinking about now. The only problem with that is, or I should say, the only obstacle with it is, the only thing that we're always battling against is time, right? So I'm always trying to think of, while I'm working, walking and chewing gum, is thinking, all right, well, what's something I can do that will improve things? How many hours will it take, for me to do it? What's the time, limitations I have? Because time is always against us. But I think that you have to take that time to do it, because if you don't, you can just get kind of stagnant in what you're doing. You have to kind of recharge and take a look at things. And And yeah, look at the people who are, I mean, guys, it's such common sense. Look at the people who are successful in a space and try to learn from them. And don't focus on the people who are unsuccessful in a space, because they're really not, they're not anybody you can learn from. And having opinions of what they're doing is not going to make them do it any better unless they really understand what you're saying. And, you know, so it's, I don't really ever think about what people are doing that's not effective. I think about what things I can learn from and apply to what I'm doing, you know, which is, you know, just being positive, painting, talking, and providing a little enthusiasm for people, you know, in the middle of their day, man. Amanda B, yes. On the man bums and less on the girl bums. Look, Amanda, look at this frame. All right? Like, I'm delivering. And let me tell you something, Amanda B, which you probably already know. When I hear people talk about Frank Frazetta's work and talk about, oh, he just glorifies, you know, women's rear ends, I'm like, have you seen some of the butts he paints on dudes? I'm just saying. You know, it was practically like Dumb and Dumber sometimes. Do you remember that scene in Dumb and Dumber where these couple in tight jeans walk past Jim Carrey, and Jeff Daniels goes, "Whoo, look at that," and Jim Carrey goes, "Yeah, he must work out." It always kills me, Amanda B. But yeah, I think that's what you get from Bridgman. That's what you get from all of the great artists. You know what I mean? They just, they know how to really paint a figure and make it strong. And this is a book about, in many ways, this is a book about romanticism and that kind of thing. And so I want my figures to be, you know, and the action and the posing to be first rate, you know. Because, I mean, I've got to get Amanda B, and I've got to get, well, Anna, I think, already backed the book. But I've got to get, I've got to get my people, man. I've got to get my people taken care of. I celebrate all my fans. All of my fans. That's how it works. This is a true democracy here. Except for it's an authoritarian dictatorship in some regards, in terms of the book and how we do things. But, yeah, man, entertain. I don't know why that is so hard. For every single Pulp cover that I look at by, I think it's Samson Pollen, you know, it's like guy with shirt ripped off. You know, it's like a bunch of women, you know, in various states of undress. Like, it's always been that way. You know, you've got work that is designed to excite the audience. And I'm telling you what, an artist who I'm a huge fan of, Robert McGinnis. If you look at Robert McGinnis's stuff, his romance novel covers, oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know, Amanda B, are you a fan of those romance novel covers by Robert McGinnis? That guy could paint, man. Egg tempera, beautiful illustrations, beautiful couples, and just amazing. This is, of course, this stuff predated, you know, the Fabio craze and all of that stuff, but it is what it is. Let's see. Blah, blah, looking forward to tomorrow. Day off. Amen. Yeah, you guys deserve all the days off you get. Let me tell you something. Furries as well. There you go, right? Yeah. I mean, you know, we got to be equal opportunity. I don't know if that's I don't know if, does a werewolf fall into that? Because I think I could make that case. I mean, he's sadly, you know, he doesn't have any relationships going on. He's in that older single dad mode. That's where Greylock lives, my werewolf character. But there are definitely some anthropomorphic creatures in RAZÖRFIST stuff, man. And for those of you guys who are fans of RAZÖRFIST and haven't checked out the Shadowcast yet, do check it out. And something I wanted to say is I was messaging back and forth with RAZÖRFIST about my friend that I think I've told you guys about, who colored the Shadow 1941 book that came out back in the day. He was one of 3 colorists. Mark Chiarello worked on it, and I forget who else was on it. And but he did a gouache painting for me, and I think that was RAZÖRFIST's first Shadow book, and it was my first Shadow book. I think he said that, or was it your boy Zach? I can't remember who said it. Anyway, but he looked at it, and it was cool for him to see. And I was like, yeah, dude, I know this dude. He's the nicest guy, and he's an amazing colorist, painter. Loves himself some Doc Savage and some Pulp. He was actually just texting me, and he's like, dude, are you okay? I haven't heard from you in forever. And I'm like, man, I have not stopped working on pages and layouts and videos and stream assets and all of that kind of stuff, because you want to create stuff that makes you excited to get streaming, and then once you start to build things up, and things like that, you have like other concerns to think about. Like, is there stuff that is copywritten, that I've got to like make sure that I don't want to use anymore because I want to make sure I own everything I'm doing, and all that stuff. I know you guys know this isn't your first rodeo. So yeah, the thing I was thinking about, when you see some of the cool animated trailers like Dying Days of YouTube makes, and I forget who the animator, if somebody knows in the chat, who did the trailer for Boots and Heels, but some really beautiful animation stuff in that as well. And I think Dying Days did Tiger Blue, but I just think it doesn't mean that we have to do animated shows. But as you know, with the stuff I did for Comic Artist Pro Secrets, little animated clips, animated intros really make the experience of tuning into a show all the better. I mean, sometimes I'll turn the YouTube channel. God, I feel like I'm talking about the TV from back in the day. Sometimes I'll be flipping through YouTube and I'll see that Comicsgate Kings is on, and I'll catch it right when they play the intro that I did for that with the Eminem Ghostbusters thing. And I mean, it feels like I did that a million years ago, but it's just become so iconic that when he fires up that stream, it's like, oh, it's time to go. Let's do this. People get excited. I didn't get you wrong. Don't you worry. Julie Pascal, how are you doing? Hail to you. Yeah, hail chat. This is a nice lunch hour treat. That's what we're here for. Hyper Wizard, great to see you, my friend. Gosh, it jumped all of a sudden and I missed everybody. Amanda B. That's right. We love Amanda B in the house here. That's just the way it works, guys. This is the way it works. We got the great Eric Weathers in the chat. I will not have anything less said about the great Eric Weathers, and Phil with 2 L's. That's right, guys. Yeah, furries claim to be wolves, so I'll allow it. Okay, there you go. I love that. It's almost like there was a ruling, on the field ruling, or in the jury. I'll allow it. Objection, speculation. 80s made is like, I'll allow it. Sustained. Overruled. I mean, that's how it is. Holding court, man. 80s made is holding court. That's how you got to do it. There we go. But yeah, I mean, I like seeing what we can do. I mean, every so often, the goal is going to be, how do we level up what we're doing? How do we make this stuff all the better and all the more exciting and interesting? And that's the key, man. That's what we got to be asking ourselves when we're doing this stuff. It's so funny because getting in the groove and getting in the zone for painting is definitely, it's involved. You gotta just you gotta be in that groove. But once you're in the groove and I'm not even thinking anymore when I'm doing this. I think that's the only way I'm able to talk while I paint, is because I just I've got the picture in my head of what I'm trying to do, and I know what I need to do to get it done on paper. But man, I tell you what, I don't know what I would do if that. Well, I didn't know what I'd do if that wasn't the case, because it's like, holy cow, I want to be able to stream for you guys. And I think that the people who really have a background in video editing and streaming, we're starting to get to the point to where people have been creating their own broadcasting from home for so long. There's a lot of really good advice out there for how to get a better looking stream and how to raise your game. And I do think that, assuming there is still money in it and they don't wreck their business model, there will probably be a boom in freelancers working in helping people make their YouTube shows look more professional. I imagine that's going to happen, and helping people to actually create shows, because it's going to get to the point where the competition for quality shows there's going to be money in it. I mean, there is already, but it's going to get harder to do for people to get attention on their shows. So just keep that stuff in mind, man. When we're creating, the sky's the limit. We just got to be able to imagine it and find it. Completely gone. The poster wasn't there, just a torn. Oh no, open box have been removed, taken away. Oh my gosh, what happened? Whoa. Why did Cecil have so many haters that? Why does Cecil have so many haters that do this? I don't know. For wizard damage. Whoa. I'm coming back here. I finally got my Cecil poster and somebody ripped open the package and tore it out of the box. What? That's horrendous, man. Oh, yeah. Well, that's what we're here to do. Yep. There it is. Yeah, and that actually brings me to the other aspect of this, which is the shows, right? We've always been promoting our stuff here. We're trying to build things, and we're trying to figure out, how do we maintain an audience? And I think, Eric July gave a really good talk about how difficult it is to build a parallel economy and to build things. But the key to being white-pilled about it and being able to function and focus is to remember at the end of the day, it all comes down to, getting over that quality threshold and breaking that static friction of people's habits. I mean, people are in the habit right now of checking out YouTube and looking for comic entertainment. People are in the habit of checking out YouTube and basically just flipping through the channels, as they say. And so the objective becomes, our objective is a little different inside of this space, which is how do we get people to stop and take a look at our comic book, our campaign, whatever the stuff is we're doing. But the objective in which is kind of, you have to break the static friction there. But in the YouTube space, it's how do you get somebody who's channel surfing to stop and check out what you're doing? And people will click on and off of things based on the resolution sometimes. Like, how does it look? Does it look all right? Is it, does it look professional? I can't tell you how many times I see a thumbnail of something I want to see. It could be a review of a book, and then I click on it, and it's in low resolution, and I click right back off. I'm like, nope, don't want to see that. That's not what I'm interested in. I want to find the best video with the best stuff. And if and while it doesn't always mean it's easy to fix, but one of the things I think is been really important for me lately is to kind of just take some time, which is why I'm using Ecamm again, and say, if I'm flipping through the channels and I see what I'm doing, that quality of resolution, am I stopping and looking at it, or am I moving on? Like even right now, just little things like, let me get the camera angle a little better on there so that you can see what I'm doing in frame. It is legit like spinning plates. That's what it is. Having to think about all of those things. And I have complete and utter understanding for people who get, run down about it. But take a look at some of the YouTubers and streamers and people in our space who are consistently, and it is so hard. The work is much harder than obviously you guys know, because we hang out and we talk all the time. But it is incredibly difficult to maintain that energy. And you basically get to a point to where you start to hone your discipline, which, as Mike Tyson's coach, Customato, always said, discipline is doing something you don't want to do as if you love it. Not as if you don't want to do it, but as if you love it. And you have to push past the introversion sometimes. You have to push past I don't know if I want to be, showing this stage of the painting, and just get your butt out there and have a great time. And enjoy doing this, because this is a blessing, man, that we have this time together and that we have this space for now. And I'm always thinking about that. And I try to use this space as much as I possibly can to talk about the stuff that I'm into, that I'm excited about, and to show you guys stuff that hopefully gives you guys a little bit of inspiration in what you're doing. And then you guys share cool stuff that you're checking out, man. It's quite the cool thing. Quite the cool thing. Oh, let's see who's here. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Okay, I gotta scroll back here. Fourth, God, my glasses. Sorry, guys. Fourth Age did a video on it, specifically the do not index instruction written into the code. If it is present, you will not ever appear on any search engines. Malice or tech error is the question. Yeah, exactly. That's a good way of putting it. Indeed, indeed. Fingers crossed they don't do that to Chrome Dog. I share on Twitter and Facebook, but I'd be surprised if that counted as more than 2 or 3 sales all told. Yeah. This is the other thing about it too, if I may. Most of our sales, when I go into the Indiegogo analytics, it's never been my experience on my campaigns, Indiegogo being the place where I get a decent amount of sales from Indiegogo, and I'm sure being searchable, but a lot of it comes from YouTube, a lot of it comes from Twitter. So I'll post a close-up of something from Nosfero, like a painting, and I can sometimes, actually more often than not, I'll get a sale in response to a tweet showing what I'm doing. So it is about being a carnival barker. Leg kick 1. Great to see you, my friend. I feel like I haven't seen you in ages, man. It's great to see you. It probably hasn't been that long, but you know how it is. I always say that, you know, everything from last week to 5 years ago is the other day at this stage for me. Like, I'll just say, oh, you know, the other day when I was in, you know, elementary school, and my wife goes, that was quite a long time ago, kid. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right, babe. That's how it goes. But yeah, it's great to see you, man. I remember the first time I noticed Leg Kick 1 was on our Double Impact streams. And I was just, I love the name. I thought it was fantastic. And man, I will tell you this. At that time, I was watching a little bit of MMA, but I was more watching boxing. And I mean, man, I have come to truly appreciate the damage that can be done with a leg kick. Holy cow. That's a special kind of hurt, man. That's a special kind of hurt. You know? I mean, it's just, ooh, not my thing. Not into it. Let's see here. So yeah, I mean, I was looking at, I was thinking about with shows, you know, how fast we get into it, how, you know, how much we show, how much we explain. Because if you're somebody new coming into a show and you're looking to get into this, one of the most difficult things in the world, like I always said, one of the biggest flaws I saw in people's teaching was they started teaching painting as if there was a class before it, so that they never really started from the start. So that if you're not sure how to paint, you would just, you know, drown in those classes, man. You had no chance of learning because it was like you had to already know to learn. Oh, I did. Oh, shoot. I missed a super chat? Damn. Where is it? Oh, my gosh. Zaid Comics. Holy cow. Just unlocked the... I got to spend some time on this. Hang on. Man. This thing is crazy. Where is it? Ah, here we go. Add to the broadcast. Super chat. $2 from Phil. Thank you so much. This new setup is annoying sometimes. Just locked in the launch date for Lost Pages 3, February 17th, guys. Be ready to go. Make sure you are signed up. Phil, did you drop the sign up? Or is there a sign up for it? Is there an email list? Make sure you do let me know what that is, or put it in the chat if you haven't yet. But guys, Lost Pages, man, it's coming. And let me celebrate that super chat with this. There we go, brother. I am excited. I'm looking forward to that book. It is one of my favorite books in terms of world building and everything that's going on in it. I'm a big fan of Lost Pages. I've painted the Masquerade, and I've actually painted... Phil, did I send you the sketch with that out of curiosity? Oh, there you go. What am I saying? Stephen Rockwood already has it. There you go. Phil is like, so Steven's got it. Zaid's like, I'll drop it. Absolutely. Lost Pages 3. That was my wife. Well, let me just say this. Though not, I definitely have learned over time. Let me move this bigger painting here because I'm resting my hand on it, which is probably not a good idea to just use it as a tabletop. But yeah, I've mentioned to my wife I do have a type. Hey, what's up, Noah? How you doing, kid? It's good to see you. I wonder if the pages will ever be found. They won't be, Noah. They won't be. And how goes your book, Noah? How's everything going with it? Can somebody do me a solid and drop a link to Noah's campaign in the chat for me? Because yeah, we want to support him. That's what I'm all about anyway. Yes, it was much more than a sketch. Oh, okay. I got you, man. What's up, Replicant? How are you doing, my friend? Does the negligible number of sales you get directly from Indiegogo browsing traffic excuse? No, it does not. Doesn't. Oh yeah, that's an easy answer. It doesn't. But my attitude has always been well, isn't it the most I don't know what it is. It's probably as basic as things like AA, but I think it comes from cognitive behavioral therapy, if that's the origin of it, which is, you know, putting into two columns, what are the things I can control and what are the things I can't control, and then putting your energy into the stuff you can control, because we know the strategy now, we know how it works, and we also know that we know the motivation of our customer base, because let's face the facts, it is not that hard to get mainstream comics. So when they underperform like they do, It is about the complete lack of motivation or presence of the audience for their stuff. And that is, no matter how easy your distribution is, it's insurmountable if your product is junk and people don't want to buy it. Like, that's the hardest part. And I will say this, which is, there is no doubt that the shadow banning, I take the shadow banning and all of that stuff really seriously. The thing is, again, which is, if I start to think about it, it takes so much energy to make work. It can snatch the soul right out of you, man. It can snatch your spirit if you focus on the things you can't control. Looking to your left, looking to your right. It's like, it's so tough, but it's a very good point, you know? And I think all of us, I'd like to think anyway, agree that work should be able to stand on its own merit, and the application of access on a platform shouldn't be denied based on opaque and subjective reasons that a person cannot address. So the real issue here is to me even more important. It rests on sort of the foundation of this country, and the foundation of this country is you have a right to know what you're charged with. You have, all of these various things. You have to know what's going on. And so when people do something and they won't tell you, one, how to fix it, then they're not interested in you fixing it. And so while I do like that quote, never attribute to malice, which can adequately be explained by stupidity, I do think that, what is it that your boy always says, once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, thrice, we're well past thrice now. Third time is not the charm, but it's something. So, yep, without a doubt. And that's the thing about it too. Somebody, how do I word it? What is RAZÖRFIST's mantra? Let's talk about RAZÖRFIST's mantra really quick. Yeah, I can control my own website, says Eric Weathers. So let me talk about this for a second. And sorry about missing that super chat before. But let me talk about this for a second, because I think this is really, really important, right? RAZÖRFIST reframed the get woke, go broke thing, and in a way that really, one, makes sense and is incredibly brilliant. Which he said, it's not get woke, go broke. He said that is a misunderstanding. I have to move this sketchbook too, man. I've got too much art happening on my desk right now. It's go broke, get woke, to get that money, to get that kind of financial support you get with ESG and all of this stuff. So let's say this. If those people have infiltrated, quote unquote, or if they're now in positions of power at Indiegogo, where they are putting all of this essentially activist DEI, ideology in place at Indiegogo, is Indiegogo broke? Have we been asking that question? That's the question RAZÖRFIST always asks. I think the assumption has to be, because we know that Kickstarter is bigger, we know how difficult those profit margins are, we know how many staff it takes to run the place, is this the final phase of that platform? Think about that. Is anyone asking that question? Because I really do think that that is utterly backed up, that when these companies are in financial trouble, that's when they start needing that money, because it hurts their business. So think about that for a second. Is there any there? Like, well, and it's a good point, Siege Perilous, and I understand what you're saying, but you have to wonder, is there any cash there? Like, is their business model working? Because no business, and I think that's where, where we came up to, and Ethan started talking about all this ESG stuff, right? He said, he goes, they can't be doing these things and losing money because they only operate for money. And you've got a collapse happening right now, guys. I know you guys are paying attention to this. There's a collapse right now in the tech sector. Why on earth would you be doing this unless you were able to do it to help sustain your money? I think that they could be in big trouble. A complete illusion to the people offering this money are power-mad, greedy narcissists, and no, there is no cash. Destruction is the point. Yep, but I would say with ESG money, there is cash that you can get investments in you to float you along for a little bit. And yeah, there's no cash on the purchasing. But again, I cannot think of a business that changes its model to exclude customers or exclude people who are giving them a percentage of their profits from maximizing their profits, unless there's some other financial incentive. And we saw this at Disney, right? We saw this how what is that crypto, whatever the hell it was inflated because it got a high approval on that. So Indiegogo, guys, there's not a ton of money in crowdfunding. I wouldn't be surprised if Indiegogo is having trouble. Look at all of Google's having layoffs, for heaven's sake. Facebook, all these places are having layoffs. I mean, doesn't it stand to reason? Just a thought. FTX, you got it. That's right. Thank you. There's so many acronyms in that world, I can't even keep up with them. It would be plausible that struggling company could be looking for funding at an event. At an event, they have a meeting with somebody that tells them about ESG, the tax rebate, blah, blah. Yeah, I think it could be. Oh, Antoine, why'd you have to bring it to food, brother? MSG. I love me some MSG. When I see no MSG in something, I'm like, jog on. It's not how it's going to work. But I want us to how do I put it? If we want to help them, right, we could make it a moral thing. We could make it a persecution thing, right? We could. But the questions that seem to freak them out the most is, there seems to be a pattern that when companies go woke, they're broke and trying to get ESG money going on. Is Indiegogo's rejection of campaigns a sign that they're going broke? And should people on there be concerned? Well, if you start floating that, you might have a better chance of getting your campaign reinstated. Something to ponder, because I think that might be the case. And indeed, D-Wag, my brother, it's great to see you. How are you doing, man? Well, I mean, there is cash. However, they are never. You got it. Share their own wealth. Absolutely. And the carrot is the preferred investment vehicle. They do not make good returns, though. They do not. Yeah. DSG Hindenburg is crashing down, pierced by its own woke arrows. You're absolutely right. And so I just, the thing that annoys me when I do it, so I'm not talking about anybody else, but it always annoys me when I find myself going, why am I doing this? This is fighting stupid. You know what I mean? And I don't care if people make mistakes and in the heat of the moment they deal with stuff. I mean, that shit happens. I mean, I'm not into it. Let me be clear. But I do think that we've got a lot of pressure on us. And sometimes it's important to not just be reacting to all of this stuff, but trying to respond. And initially I found myself really prone to reaction because, look, man, even though Eric Weathers denies it, I'm a friend of Eric Weathers. I like Eric Weathers. Does he like me? Not so much. But when I see that happening to him, Eric knows this, man. When Eric, you know this, I'm going to embarrass you a little bit. But when Eric shared the news with me about the Rippaverse stuff, I got totally moved, man. I got totally choked up. I texted my wife at work, and I was so happy, and I want good things to happen for people. So when bad things happen for Eric Weathers, I'm not thrilled. When bad things happen to the people I'm, in this stuff with, I don't like it. But then my next thought is, how do we look at this in the smartest way possible, man? But don't think it totally bothers me. But I'm starting to think that as we're doing the right thing, and Eric is doing the right thing, building his website, Michael's doing the right thing with all that stuff, as we start doing all that stuff, there could be an even more important reason to be doing it, which is, what are we going to do if we get the word in this time of tech collapse? Oh, by the way, Indiegogo is no longer going to take new campaigns because they're going out of business. I mean, we got to think in those terms. It is very possible that could be happening. Oh my God, a super chat from Agent Zero. See, I'm not always that slow. It's great to see you from Agent Zero Studios. Chrome Dog launch party on Bancroft stream February 3rd. You heard it here first, guys. Make sure you are tuned in. If you're not subscribed to Michael Bancroft's channel, can we get a link to that channel there so everybody's subscribed? Shitbird Militia, is great to see you, my friend. Channel member, Shitbird Militia. Love seeing you in the chat, my friend. And hail to you, and hail to the chat. And let me play this for my friend, Agent Zero Studios here. Here you go. This cheers for you. Charge! That makes me smile. It's so funny. But if people want to know what the biggest drug is to attract guys, ladies out there, it's really simple. Enthusiasm will do in a pinch. We're kind of like that. Indiegogo would probably be bought out by Kickstarter before they outright shut their doors. I think it's very possible. It's very possible. But remember this, man. RAZÖRFIST he's been watching this stuff for a while. He's been right about a lot of things. He's a fairly smart dude and a fellow brother in Pulp. So let's start asking the question seriously. If what he says, which seems to be backed up, again, no pun intended, if the stuff that he says that seems to be at the very least, possible, if not probable, maybe our concern should be what kind of business, when do businesses start rejecting money and customers for ideological reasons? It's typically when they're circling the drain. That's usually what happens, man. Oh, February 3rd is your birthday, Eric Weathers. Oh, man, that's awesome. Yeah, my wife is a February birthday. And hail to you, and happy early birthday, but I'll wish you a birthday on the day for sure, man. Gotta put that in my phone. I'm one of those. Yeah, RAZÖRFIST is awesome, man. Yeah, and Phil, we've been messaging back and forth, just about art, and it's nice, you know. It's just the same thing with you and me, dude. It's nice to message back and forth with people about pulp and sheer artwork. I was a big fan of Tom Lavelle's colored paintings, and his, if you don't know who Tom Lavelle is, Golden Age illustrator, did just these beautiful classical romantic paintings of couples, you know, and did some romance novel covers. Also did some pulp stuff. And but he did the black and white illustrations for a lot of the shadow pulps. I had no idea, man. Oh my God, look at this. Timmy Mello, Small World, February 4th is my birthday, a day later. And happy early birthday to Timmy Mello as well. And let me know on the date, man. Happy pre-birthday, Eric. Mine is, what is this, are you guys pulling my chain now? Happy early birthday to Joseph Dredd. This is getting a little creepy, man. So cool. I've been wanting to send Razor some Lost Pages stuff for a while. He's a good dude, man. He's a good dude. Yeah, love that dude. Yeah, happy pre-birthday. What's up, Marcus Kelleher? How are you doing? I'm here late, working my regular job. God bless you for that. Servicing internet for off-campus housing. Hail, God bless you, Marcus. That has got to be something. Because you know how it is. It's like, you know, dealing with a herd of cats on a campus. Draw, my birthday is today, says Stephen Rockwood. Happy birthday, Stephen Rockwood. You know how it is. You know how it is. February 20th over here. Now you guys are making this stuff up. My younger son's birthday is the 8th of February. My God. Michael Deach, it's great to see you. There can be a mix. Big corpse. Hold on a second, Michael. My glasses slide down my, you know, precipitous fall off of my nose. There can be a mix. Big corps make an initial mistake, allowing ideologies into positions of power, and these types will assert ideology over business goals. Other normal money goal types are still in the org. Yes, what I will say is interesting about it is, so I worked at an institution that chased this money hard. I worked at two institutions that did, and I can tell you that there is. It's lots of driving. I do not doubt it, Marcus. I do not doubt it. And God bless you. And this is the thing, is that when you look into it, you realize that the business models are always fatally flawed in terms of how they're running things, right? Like, they haven't figured out how to turn a profit, and why would they? They're Marxists, right? And so the thing for me about it is I think it is a theory we should, at the very least, which I know you guys are, by the way, but it's a theory that at the very least we should be considering, because it doesn't change our strategy. That's the interesting thing. Our strategy is we got to start building our own sites, and we got to start having our own fallbacks. But my concern, or my thinking, is that there is a lot of sense in RAZÖRFIST theory. And last time I checked, Kickstarter is bigger than Indiegogo, right? And they were adjusting their business model and moving away from this stuff, which means they were past the point of not making money, and then past into the desperation point of, okay, we got to get rid of this. And so I find it easier to believe they were just infiltrated. But Indiegogo is small, and you've got the entire tech sector in a state of collapse right now. You've got companies like Disney struggling to be making, money with their theme parks. Seems pretty reasonable to me that Indiegogo might be having some trouble, especially because the people and the contacts there that we had been so comfortable speaking with people as customer service, the customer service started to suffer, and they stopped talking to certain people, and you always wonder what's going on. I mean, it would be great to think that it's purely political, but I can't help but think they're circling the drain, perhaps, man. Yeah, I mean, it's possible anyway. Happy birthday, Stephen Rockwood, as always. Much love. So many February birthdays here. Sure is a bunch of Aquarians in here. Yeah, that might be our biggest audience. Hail and Probby, channel member of Probby. It's good to see you, my friend. I hope you are doing well. I'm so glad I finally got your name in the credits here. Yes, indeed. Much love here. That's how we do it, guys. Miss Bird Militia on February 10th. What the heck is going on in here? Popular month for CG circles. Apparently, February birthdays are 90% of our customer base. I've wondered this for a while. They might be cutting loose anything controversial, trying to sell the company to... Do you see where I'm going with this, Eric? If they're trying to sell their company to a group of people who are still in this ESG thing, but I got to tell you guys, I think that the ESG money is drying up and they're late to the party. I watched so many institutions try to chase money after the event was over, like after the grift was over. It's like trying to start a cryptocurrency thing right now. It's like, it's over. People are like, nope, this is a pyramid scheme. Isn't it interesting that Indiegogo went crazy not long after Twitter went through that purge? Isn't it, though? Isn't it, though? Yep, AT&T is way in debt. Amen. Shanth, do a spin-off book called Boobs and Butts? Dude, that's going to be probably my next sketchbook. I'm not kidding. Oh my god, who was I just thinking of? Bud Root isn't wrong. You do sketchbooks with sexy ladies in it, and you know what you're doing? Get it done. That's what I plan to do. Money, 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 money. Important. Get broken. Thank you for the super chats, by the way, guys. Get broke, go woke, get broke harder. Yeah, he says, RAZÖRFIST one that cracked me up was he said, get broke, go woke, then croak. And I think that's what's happening. We're a bunch of February art babies. Yeah, you're totally right. You get power struggles within a company. House divided between profit and ideology tends to result in catastrophe for the company on all fronts. Michael Deach, you're speaking some truth, my friend. You are speaking some truth today. Yeah, make sure the pages are laminated. I'm not. Behave. Stephen Rockwood. Oh my gosh, 27 people in here. Please hit that like and please share this out if you are so inclined. Every bit helps. Every bit is appreciated. As you guys know, between the shadow bannings, between the difficulty in just, breaking through the noise, there is not an amount that does not help that you guys do. It does not exist. Every bit helps. That is the most important thing to always remember when you're in this space. And when you're sharing out links for campaigns, but also when you're talking about the campaigns, as we do here, it helps. People might not have heard a campaign before. Like I always try to make sure I mention, and I'll do it now, that I did a cover for BECKONED RECOURSE, and the link is in the description for this video. I try to keep links to all of the campaigns by my friends in the description of my videos, but BECKONED RECOURSE by Zaid Studios. Check it out. And I got to get this in the description. There's Zaid Comics. Has got the launch date. The launch date finally determined for The Lost Pages 3. Probably one of the fan favorite books out there. I know it's a personal favorite of mine. But everything we're doing here, guys, every little thing we're doing helps. You say this to I talk about this with people buying art, man. It's like in this economy, there is every dollar counts. When you guys back artwork and you support what I'm doing, it helps. It translates into things that we need to make this little life of ours happen. And I know you guys know that. I know you guys know the same thing. But it's you got to have supplies. It's fun to be on the front lines of the culture war, but not fun when you don't have supplies. That's the important thing. Got to have supplies for the fight. Kind of important. So yeah. So let's see what we got here. Make sure I didn't miss too many chats here. Damn, I'm slow. Oh yeah, Stephen Rockwood dropping links like Oscar Mayer in there. Way to go. I'm going to see Andy Smith and Bud Root on the 4th of February at the Charlotte Minicon. Yeah, we talked, dude. Bud Root is. When you see Bud Root, tell him Shanth Enjeti says you're awesome and I love your stuff, man. Because it is. I bought his art book on Andy Smith's recommendation. There is the sign up for Lost Pages 3, guys. Let's make it happen. Yes, indeed. Support what you like or it goes away. Did you see the cover I did for John De La Rosa's Flying Sparks? His Kickstarter just launched. No, I did not. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, what do you call it? I know we've done this before, but tweet it at me. Yeah, Green Laser, thank you. Nosfero, and it's great to see you, Green Laser. How are you doing? Nosfero, the Crypt Walker, guys. It's going to be a stunner, as we say in New England, and thank you for your support, man. Thank you for your support. Green Laser dropping links up in here. Thank you, Green Laser. You guys are the best. I do appreciate it, man. I do appreciate it. I mean, I just want to see great stuff, and I want us to keep growing what we're doing. And I would say this is, whenever I Google, like, how do I improve the quality of this on YouTube, it is just a void of advice, and then you have to wade through all that advice. But if instead I go to the channels that I really like, and I don't count CG channels because CG channels, I know them all, like I watch them. But when I go to channels I like outside of that sphere and look at what they're doing and how they're putting stuff together, it helps me to improve my game and hopefully bring something into our space that people aren't doing. I mean, look at what Eric July does over on his channel. He's an unbelievably successful YouTuber, promoter. He had a great interview with that gal who got fired from what was the name of the company the other day, and it was just a great interview. I mean, he's a terrific broadcaster. He knows what he's doing. He's got his head on a swivel, and he's got a lot of ability to discuss things in a very intelligent fashion. Yeah, please do, Marcus. I would really appreciate that. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I'm saying hail to everybody. Hail to you, Green Laser. Flying Sparks looks awesome. That's another on my backer bucket list. There you go. We're making stuff happen here, guys. I tagged you in a comment. Excellent. Hopefully that worked. It will work. People will absolutely see it, man. And it'll be good. It'll be good. I think when you guys say, hey, this is what we talked about on the stream, people who follow me are going to take a look at it and go, what were you guys talking about on the stream? And it's just one of those many things, but we need, how do I put it? When we talk about, and people talk about we need more channels, and people say, oh, it's crowded already. Let me be really clear about this. We need more channels not doing the exact same thing, but we need more great channels that are broadening what we do. And I think that's something that really got me thinking about what I was doing when I'm working, which is, because if you look at it, a great channel that has a built-in audience is never going to be threatened by another channel if, doing the exact same thing, unless that person is so good at it that it's really their own thing anyway. And so I think that if we can, you see stuff happening like that all the time. You see people making great channels and promoting great stuff that gets huge. I know when Jeremy Lord Crackhead, or I should say Jeremy Fire and Ice now, or Ice and Fire, depending, when he started talking about, the newest George R.R. Martin series, I mean, his channel just blew up, and people in our space were hanging out there, and new people were coming in and probably hearing about CG for the first time. So there's great opportunities there. There's so many great opportunities. So let's be always looking for new stuff. I mean, some of my favorite YouTube channels I watch are, channels like Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews, Horror Monster Collectibles, and that's a pretty sizable channel with a big fan base. Grim Life Collective is huge. They're actually co-producers on a movie, an indie film that's going to be having Shelley Duvall's return to acting after 20-something years away. I mean, there's people making stuff happen all over the place. Oh, let me see this. Michael Deach says, Kellogg's decided to make cereal wasn't enough. Openly supports Lefty Costs' strong enough brand that it doesn't seem to have hurt their business yet. Guess their product quality hasn't suffered yet. Indeed. Yeah. Imagine getting fired for liking a tweet. Yeah. That is some nuts, crazy stuff. I would like Nosfero to get to 550 in the next week. That would be nice. Thank you, Stephen Rockwood Drawing. Well, listen, from your lips to God's ears, and you've been, a prognosticator as far as that's concerned. But yeah, I mean, I showed that video clip to the missus, and we were just both like, what? Like, who does this kind of stuff? She is the nicest person. And she was talking about video games. You could tell she was just so unbelievably passionate about it. And I didn't to normal people, you can't understand why people would do that. And I sometimes think it's because you must be a threat to some type of funding, some type of monetary funding that they're getting, and if they get reported by these people enough, they'll lose it. And a part of me starts to wonder, like, what is this about? Because it started to get a little bit, go a little bit beyond just a targeted, like, I don't doubt that there are targeted harassment campaigns, but those things have been around forever. It's the reaction to them. Like, people can't tell me that when Ethan launched Cyberfrog 1 at the height of his cancellation and at the height of when he didn't have $1 million campaign under his belt, that the people contacting Indiegogo were less than they are now. I mean, they were full tilt. And not to mention, he has a lot more, there's a lot more power behind what we're doing right now. So it strikes me as odd. I would be shocked if that was the case. But again, I have been wrong before in my life about things I thought sane people would do. But yeah, indeed. And Flying Sparks, there is the link right there. Green Laser's dropping that link in the chat. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, check out these books. Open up these links. Yeah, you don't understand it because you're not a sociopath. That is certainly true. But I also have to say this too. Let me read this to Timmy Mello. It's got to be some strong sense of vanity and self-protection. I mean, it's almost like killing another person for offending you and question your integrity. Yeah, it is. And I think that it's also... resentment is a very powerful force. And I often say it is not the most powerful force, but you don't ever underestimate it. Because you can see people like her who are nice and give people the benefit of the doubt. And I guarantee you, somebody at work had an axe to grind with her. And I will say this too, whenever you see somebody like that get taken down, do not give, and I don't give any deference, I don't give any respect to their colleagues. Because for every person who gets thrown out the door, or every person who has some really nasty stuff done to them, trust me, there are a ton of colleagues, quote-unquote colleagues, who look the other way. And I absolutely despise that quote that evil is allowed to happen because when good people do nothing. No. If you do nothing in that situation where someone like her is getting thrown under the bus, you're not a good person. And those bosses are not good people. They're terrible people for what they did. I mean, she might be kind or nice about it, but no, her bosses were not doing anything of value. They were doing something that was cowardly and morally wrong as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not one to make huge moral proclamations. People just, again, free country, do what you do as long as you're not hurting people. But that was hurting people, and that was such a terrible thing to let happen to somebody, because it basically, you are co-signing for the accusations against them. That's it, period. Yes, don't forget to back the book, indeed. I think that's the latest volume for Flying Sparks. Everyone click that link. Check out my Flying Sparks cover. There you have it. Self-preservation, indeed. But do you know what I'm saying? I mean, it is not a healthy or, normal thing to do. And I think that it's so funny because from the proud people who are behind this stuff, who brought you Silence is Violence, boy, are they good at remaining silent while people get thrown under the bus. I mean, my God. And look, when your friends look the other way while you get thrown under the bus, it is rough. And by the way, nobody is responsible to step in. Like, this is the thing I can't stand about that particular culture, where people go, you need to say something. No, actually you don't. You don't need to say or do anything. However, if let your conscience guide you in that way, and don't let other people tell you what that is. They clearly did not respect her. That's it. Like, if they felt no compulsion and they weren't doing it because, of whatever, they clearly didn't care about her. And that's the rough thing. Yeah, there you go. Compliments for the cover, guys. It's so common in the professional world, it's a symptom of an even greater ethical problem, that will to grow. Like, yes, it absolutely is. Yep. Yeah, it is. And I think it's because it's the same thing that happens in our space, man. It is difficult to be in an egalitarian situation where people are, where people have the ability to make work and compete and succeed based on their quality, and to put your work out there and not have people respond to it. If you're over a certain age and you have not had that happen, hell, just look at, when you're a kid and you're asking girls out, for heaven's sake, and it's like, why isn't this person into me? They're just not. If you can't live with that, and you can't deal with the fact that sometimes things aren't going to go your way, what it breeds in you is an absolutely terrible thing. That resentment is awful. And you have to just kind of, if you don't learn to manage it, it'll take everything from you. And I think that there is, what I would say is probably how this ties into some of that stuff, some of that funding that we speak about here, is the fact that sometimes I think people are in a business and they can't believe they don't know how to run it and it's failing, and they'll do anything to keep it a success. And I don't have a lack of sympathy for that, because there's people jobs on the line, but it's like a Faustian bargain. Do you know what I mean? It's a Faustian bargain, you know? Oh, of course, my friend. Don't even. It's the way it is. But I appreciate that. I should start saying thank you more, or you're welcome, because I always get on my kids about that when people pay you a compliment, say thank you, so you internalize it. It's very important. And when people say thank you, say you're welcome and acknowledge what you do. It's an important part of the process I'm trying to help my kids with. I do as I say, not as I do, sometimes is also another thing that happens. But yeah, man, I mean, I think that that's the narrative I'm starting to have about Indiegogo. That's the narrative I'm starting to have about why this stuff is happening. I think that the reason why they get their hooks into these places is because they're vulnerable, and I think we should all pretty much assume that Indiegogo might be having some financial difficulties at the moment, because I think it's a reasonable thing to assume. You know, do I know that? No. Do I have any sense of that? No. But I would not turn down a customer. I can tell you that. And I would not try to hide my campaign from customers. And when you really think about it, it's their campaign in a sense too, in terms of their business is built on how well our campaigns sell, because they get a percentage. Do you guys get what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. It'd be like working at a car dealership. Good to see you, Gigabucks. How are you doing, my friend? And thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. This is the thing about it, right? Is that if you own a car dealership, let's look at it that way. You don't really, competition between your salespeople might be a good thing, but sabotaging one salesperson at the expense, or sabotaging one person to promote another person, salesperson there is how does that help you at the end of the day? You want them both operating at their best. You want, everything, the competition to be there, the quality to be there, anything that doesn't get in the way of selling cars. And we're selling ideas, we're selling comics. What is the problem? Like, why is it that they suddenly don't want certain revenue streams of theirs? Let's call it what it is. These are not campaigns. These are our campaigns, but they're not just that. These are Indiegogo revenue streams. They are. Who in this economy tries to threaten their own revenue stream? Does that make sense? Joe Mello coming in with a super chat. My man, it is good to see you. I had a fun time hanging with you last night on Double Impact. Super chat $4.99 from Joe Mello. Hey, Shanth and chat family. How is everybody today? I'm doing great. How are you doing, Joe? And hail to you, brother. Everybody say hey and let Joe know how you doing. Like your paintings, they are... yeah, they are. Oh, I'm such an easy laugh, man. I'm such an easy laugh. And for Joe Mello, let me just say this. Here you go, Joe. Yeah, different end states, though. You're absolutely right. So, yeah, let's start asking that question. Oh, excellent. Joe Mello is saying, I'm doing well at work, my friend. Well, thank you for everything you do. God bless you, and thank you for your support. I absolutely appreciate it. Yeah, we should start asking that question. Instead of, why is Indiegogo, doing this? Speak directly to the people who are running it. Why is Indiegogo hurting their own revenue stream? That's a very interesting question. Because there's not a lot of ways you can explain that. There's not a lot of ways you can explain why a company would willfully harm their own revenue stream. So, again, if you... Chris Voss talks about this, that it's healthy to ask, or that it's more strategically useful to ask no-geared questions than yes-geared questions, because it helps the brain to think. The question someone should be asking Indiegogo is not, are you shadow banning? Because they're going to say, no, we are not. They're not incentivized to say yes, but say, are you deliberately attempting to harm your revenue stream? And if you're not, why are you shadow banning these? Do you see how a simple reframe is so much more useful in getting to the core issue there? Because they don't care about our concerns unless they're their concerns. So maybe they need to start looking out for their own interests there. You know what I mean? It's very odd. Yeah, sociopaths do that. Sociopaths are incapable of seeing the consequences of their own actions. Yep. Hail, dude. Yes, indeed. Pride. Yeah, well, stubborn pride is definitely something that is what it is. It's something that you see a lot of. But I do think that if I had money in that place, I'd be a little concerned. What can we do to get more exposure for CG creators? I bought Ethan's merch for my brother-in-law, not because he'll ever care about CG issues, but because I know he'll brag about his jacket on the golf course. You're absolutely right. There's an answer right there. That's great. They'd rather be right, like Anthony said. Pride gets the better of them. Yeah, it absolutely does. And being right is such a funny thing, that expression, being a right fighter and all that stuff. It's so true. But, and I'd also say this, is that there's being quote unquote right, and then there's being correct. And these people don't understand how important it is to actually be operating with some kind of factual basis, or they'd be able to look at things pragmatically. And while asking questions and things like that sometimes can be very intimidating at first, if you're running a big, a company that employs people like they are on the numbers that they do, they should be asking the question, why are we hurting our own revenue stream? This doesn't make any sense. Who is responsible for hurting our revenue stream? I mean, Eric Weathers isn't some fly-by-night outfit. He's raised 6 figures on his last book. That is a potential revenue stream they will benefit from again. And there's a chance that it will happen even faster because the reaction to Battle Brick Road was so overwhelmingly positive. Same thing goes with Kenneth Roquefort. Same thing goes with all of us when we put our stuff out there. I mean, shoot, my first 2 art books, which basically almost happened in the same, the campaigns launched probably within less than a year of each other. But they both did fairly well. But my first campaign using the kind of the support of Comicsgate and the power of Comicsgate. I mean, I was doing stuff for Comicsgate before I was ever making any kind of money off of a campaign for Comicsgate. But I was on Indiegogo. Has been huge. I can only assume that when this book hits and when I, reprint it or do whatever, which is not going to be for the same price it is now. Let me tell you that. I do not believe in making it the same price and I believe you should reward the people who dance with the one who brought you, so to speak. But I can only assume that that's going to help their revenue stream the more I grow and the more successful I am. And so you want to throw a lot of force behind the things that are proving to be successful so they can be more successful and you can make more money. I mean, do you guys follow me? Isn't this making sense? And this is the opposite of logic. And I think it's important to point out the opposite of logic in a way to where you ask, again, the basic question. Is Indiegogo consciously trying to drive down their revenue stream? Doesn't make sense. Because that's all they're doing. They're not making the world a better place. They're not doing anything like that. They're doing something that is not, to me anyway, doesn't make any sense until they explain it. And since they're not explaining it, we're left to kind of wonder and speculate. But I can tell you this, again, I do not turn away customers. That's the way it is. No business with half a brain should. Doesn't make any sense. Crenshaw Fowl, good to see you, my friend. It's because they live in a bubble, they actually believe that the majority of people think like them and that in the long run it'll be more profitable. Yeah, absolutely crazy. It's a whole SJW revenge mission, yeah. Bible says it starts with haughty eyes, which is showing arrogant superiority. Then the Bible says next comes a lying tongue because those who call them out, they are called liars. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Give it time for Rini. Well, hopefully not, but, it is what it is. But like I said, I think Rini will be around long after Indiegogo is. I was thinking like that about yesterday about why whales have started altering their communications in tone and frequency. Yeah, that is something right there. Interesting. Rini Art isn't, and Art T-Bear have never been shadow banned. Yep, that's kind of weird. Who knows why that stuff happens. Everything must be sacrificed for the message. Amen. They have so many campaigns going. I'm sure they think shadow banning a few won't hurt them. Yeah, they think that. But again, it's getting to be a battle of it's gone from yards to inches to nickels, and people have got to be starting to think about that. I wondered if Rini has some immunity as a female minority. Art, who knows? I don't, because they think they banned somebody who had previously done a lot of woke stuff who ticked off a lot of checkboxes, and that never seems to stand in their way. I haven't seen it stand in their way yet. But again, if people believe they can do, really well by let me just move this camera up here so I don't have to worry as much. If people believe they can do more, and the road to success is by turning away customers, knock yourselves out, man. And if you're in this stream and you haven't hit like yet, please make sure you do. It really does help these streams and everything I'm doing here to move forward and to get more eyeballs on it. And at the end of the day, that's how we live. That's how we survive here, man. We survive by getting more eyeballs on our stuff and getting people to back our campaigns. That is it. Like, every bit of it helps. There we go. I love making artwork here with you guys, let me tell you that. It's so much fun. And so, yeah, but getting back to all of this, right? Getting back to what we started out talking about on this stream is, and not in terms of advice, in terms of experimentation. I want to see myself on this channel experimenting with how I can make my streams more effective, how I can attract a larger audience. Because at the end of the day, as I know you guys know, we're not a union, and we're a group of people with shared principles who are responsible, as Coach always says, but as I really believe and have been thinking, it's part of the reason why I'm in CG, we have to build our own stuff. We have to. It doesn't mean that we can't collaborate, doesn't mean we can't do stuff for other people. I've done a lot of that already. But it does mean we're responsible for growing our channels. And I think the more of us who are looking at these situations and arguing from a point of reason, as far as like, well, what could we do here? What could we do that? The stronger it makes the reservoir. And also looking at outside people outside of our sphere who are successful, doing the whole the YouTube thing and the promoting things for sales. Because one of the things that struck me about Eric, and has struck me about a lot of creators, is you see that some people have massive audience and then they try to turn it into a product or something like that, and it doesn't go very well. Well, you can't really learn much from them. But when somebody does have a big audience, but an audience that's motivated to buy, you learn a lot about where the audience that purchases things go. Like, where are they? What are they interested in? And those are the people you need to find to run a successful business, and to run a successful, pop culture, art, and entertainment movement. You got to know where the people are who spend. I think the 80-20 rule is very, very true. Finding those folks that are your best customers and the people who are most motivated to support what you're doing. And we've got a hell of a lot of them in Comicsgate, man. We've got a lot of great people here. And thank you, Green Laser, for dropping all of those links. It is very appreciated. We've got the link to Nosfero, my campaign for the pages I'm working on right now. We've got Lost Pages 3. That's Phil's upcoming campaign. That's the email sign up. Make sure you check it out. We've got Flying Sparks right there by Green Laser, dropping that link to it right there. Thank you so much. Yeah, Marcus is laughing. I got to find out what it is. John, how are you doing? You started without me. How dare you? Channeling my inner Greta. Well, listen, how dare you? I know what you mean. I jest. Yeah. It's because Rini is a... I just got that. I think that's possible. There you go. There you go. I've wondered if Rini had some kind of meaning to female. Okay, I got you. Just making sure I'm caught up here. Yes, I'm sorry, John. I didn't mean to start a stream without you, my friend. Much love, and thank you for all the channel members who are here. Wow, we're one away from 30 likes on this stream. You guys are crushing it today. But yeah, I mean, we have always been that way. Platforms are never going to be on your side. It's about the same thing with politicians, but your fans and your true blue fans and the people who support you are going to be there. And and I think that's one of the things that you're really building ultimately whenever you're in this space. I forget who he was talking to. I think he was talking to that young lady who was, or I should say, well, young lady to me anyway, who lost her job at the video game company, and I forget what their name is because it's something witty that has to do with the physical media aspect of what they do. And he said these guys, this fan circle, when they rock with you, they rock with you. That's what you support, and that's what you're building, man. That's what we're building all the time with this stuff. John, 80-20 rule of the time. 80% of the time, 80% of the time, I'm 20% right. I'm with you. That's pretty much me in a nutshell. Yeah, saying hello to everybody. Is Bancroft here? 30 likes. Bancroft in the house. Dropping the hammer. Getting us to 30, brother. It is great to see you. How is everything there on this fine Friday morning? I hope you are doing well and you got a decent night's sleep. 32 likes. Michael's like just pushing it, man. He's pushing us over, you know. He's pushing us into the end zone, man. You guys are getting it done. 33 likes. Look at you maniacs here. And Hail Green Laser. Thank you guys for dropping links to this. Yes, the Lucent comic landing page is right there. And guys, if you have not seen the Second Chance campaign that Michael has on his own site speaking to these principles, do check it out. And Michael dropped that link early and often for where the book is live for the first issue. But yeah, it really is. And Michael, you probably missed this because I was talking about it earlier. So I just got my first copyright claim justified for the song I used to play with Gary Oldman, you know, at the start of my streams. And that is a big reason why I'm switching stuff up on my channel, but also to be more effective and more efficient. Because we need to make sure that we're owning the stuff that we do, and we really need to build something that is sustainable. And I've been, like I said, looking at the channels who are doing this and making this stuff happen, and that's a big part of it. Like, I could keep using that song, and it's not a strike, it's just a claim. They're just like, we're going to monetize this, and best of luck to you. But I want to make sure that everything I do, I'm able to the extent that it's reasonable, that I'm able to own and monetize. And I just think I know it was the same thing with you and the Cheers opening. You know, it's you get to a certain point where you have to sort of reevaluate things. There we go. There you have it. Oh my gosh, lots of people popping in here. I know I'm missing a lot of these streams. I decided to take a leap and put on a couple of videos on YouTube and Rumble. They're not good, but it's a start. Yeah, Crenshaw, a start will do in a pinch. It's great. Yes, indeed, Comicsgate Books. That's right. CG Now. Check it out. Justice for the Crack Queen. Look, from your lips to God's ears, I'm saying that's what we do. Yeah, drop those links, guys. Stephen Rockwood's YouTube channel. Gosh, you guys are posting so fast. I can't even see it. Hail, dude, indeed. It always surprised me that CG used existing content as intros and openings. Most other content creators all create their own content, even for intros. Yeah, using stock stuff and really refining what you do, and you guys have seen this with the Speakeasy intro, I think it's the way to go. I think it helps you to grow things. I think it helps you to just, how do I put it? If it's a popular song, it's the momentum behind it is someone else's and they are able to own it. But when you have something that anyone can use, but you're doing something different with it, that's huge. And yes, indeed, John, Comicsgate does work. Yeah, something impervious. Yeah, that's really what we're after. And so I think the audience is ultimately not showing up for the other thing. They're showing up for you, and they're showing up to see. And by the way, some people use copyrighted songs, and it works great for them. Fantastic. Do whatever works. You know what I mean? Do whatever it takes to get your stuff to happen. But if you find yourself at a point to where it's something you don't want to do, don't hesitate to just change things up and restructure it. And that's been a huge part of the last couple of weeks, where I just go, all right, there was that initial stage where I'm trying to build, this channel beyond what it was. I think, I'm pretty sure that when people knew that I had a book in CG, so I wasn't just the guy doing Ethan's intros, and I'd been here for years, that I was trying to push my channel forward, and we went from 500 to whatever our number is now during that time. Frankly, great to see you, my friend. To quote the man, be undeniable. Indeed. Yeah, be undeniable, without a doubt. Stock is just easy when you are not sure if you're going to go full bore or not. Yeah, absolutely it is. Yep, it absolutely is. Yeah, cheers for the links, indeed. When in doubt, use a cover song instead of the copyrighted song. Very true. Engage lurk mode. Time for caffeine injection. Understood, John. Understood. Michael Bancroft, the Australia Day stream was big fun. Good to know someplace besides my home in the former Indian territories also has impossible place names. Yes, that's right. Jeremy Ice and Fire 33. Check out his YouTube channel. One of my oldest Comicsgate friends. Him and Bancroft are kind of like the guys who I kind of came into this whole thing, and including Joe, the man, Joe Albino Thunderbuns. God bless you, Joe. And it's you never forget those early days and those trying to build something out of nothing. Every single one of us, think about that. If these mainstream creators, or the people who annihilated the Star Wars brand, I want to say the world, the universe, the story, because it's not just some corporate thing to me. It was a big deal. If they had to start from zero, they would have never been in the game. It is incredibly hard to build something from scratch. Incredibly hard. And it takes everything you've got. It takes everything out of you. It's not for everybody. It is not something that that is ever should be thought of as easy, or why doesn't the person. I mean, there's so many hours in the day. You've got one person, and it is a lot. But the people you're seeing who are working really hard and consistent in doing this stuff, they are putting in a ton of time, and your support means everything to what we're able to do. Absolutely everything. And I don't expect, when I'm streaming and I'm doing what I'm doing, I don't expect the results that people take years and years to get, but I try to have a reasonable expectation for what I need to be able to try to achieve and accomplish. And then I just keep moving. Just keep moving. Stick and move, as they say. Yeah, awesome stream last night. Too fun. Yeah, a lot. Guys, there's so many great streams going on. Backing track 100% DMCA free music for streams and videos. Metal AF. There you have it. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Hello at Albino Thunderbuns. Indeed. Much love. At Michael Bancroft. Hail, dude. Yes, indeed. Leg kick 1 in the house. Indeed. Yeah, we love Albino Thunderbuns. Yeah. Phil. Hail, Michael Bancroft. Look at you awesome rock stars here in the stream. Yeah, I mean, YouTube has definitely been a major source of, what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, I want to say calm, but that's not really it. But it keeps me motivated. It keeps me going, because watching people who are not involved in any of this crazy, insane stuff just talk about the things they're passionate about is what things used to be like and should be like, because the rest of it is just, subterfuge and other ridiculous, attempts for clout chasing and blah, blah, blah. And so when I turn on something and it's just like I'm watching a video and this person just talking about something they're passionate about, it's where I try to spend the majority of my time. And I know that's why a lot of you guys come in here, because if you're in here and I'm talking about this art, this is what I'm interested in, and there's none of that BS. And that stuff over time is what builds a strong foundation. And I think that people have watched, Michael says this a lot, and I know it's a thing that exists before, but I don't think Michael created this, but you never know. But he always says that, don't lie on YouTube. And it's like, yeah, it's like, don't pretend you're a fan of something you're not, is a good bit of advice. And just try to do the best you can. It's weird. It's kind of a simple sort of philosophy. I try to paint the things I'm passionate about, and I try to be and that can be a really hard thing too, because for me anyway, I've thought a lot about it. I'm a very enthusiastic, person, like, generally speaking. Doesn't mean I don't feel down sometimes. I mean, I love when people think that about Bob Ross. You don't think Bob Ross grieved when his wife passed? Come on, get out of town. But when you're a positive person and you look around and you see a lot of people who are cynical and negative, sometimes you can find yourself thinking, like, how is this coming off? But man, if I've got to sustain, you guys, I've got how many years on YouTube? If you've got to be yourself in order to sustain it, I don't have the energy to lie. I'm actually this way, man. I'm actually this way. It's part of why I was a teacher. I can't do it, man. Yep, there you go. Hey, Michael Bancroft, I sent you a Twitter DM. There you go. I love the stonework. I love painting stonework. I'm so glad you like it, man, because Frazetta did it really well. Ivan Durrell did it really well. The background painter on Sleeping Beauty, Howard Pyle, N.C. Wyeth, all of these artists did this beautiful, great stonework, and I love it. I love it in pen and ink. I love it in color. I love it in paint. Thank you for noticing that, man. Seriously, means a lot to me, man. Means a lot, because I care about it. I really love to put time into stonework. Thank you, Shanth Enjeti Art, for having these streams during the day. Oh, of course, my friend, and my pleasure, man. I'm always going to work, but you are very welcome. You are very welcome. Let's see. Resourcefulness is what you think is the best about YouTube. Yes. Or is what I think. You and I gets me confused. That's where my dyslexia goes haywire. Resourcefulness is what I think is best about YouTube, from Siege Perilous. Thank you, Siege. Hail Shanth. Hail Sheeple Hunter. How are you doing, my friend? Hail to the chat, indeed. On the solid rock. Oh, on Christ, the solid walk. Reading is something I'm working on, guys. On Christ, the solid rock, I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. Foundations matter. They absolutely do. Yeah. I mean, if you've got a good foundation happening, guys, it is it's everything. And I think that again, gratitude is the attitude is very true. But I think, and I think that in addition to that, I always think about the people who came before us in comics in every field, how much more difficult things were for them and how much more they relied on their ingenuity. And that is big. If Michael Bancroft ever makes it to my area, we'll go on tour from Slaughterville to Pink, from Bug Tussle to the Great Blue Whale of Catoosa. Oh my God! I actually lived in a place where there was a place called where there was a county called Catoosa County. I remember that. Yes, Sale Agent Zero. How dare you, Bob Ross? Never had a bad day. Agreed. Indeed. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, isn't it nice? And Chrome Dog #1, guys, there's a sign-up email list. That's how we get this. It costs nothing to sign up. Michael laughing at his potential visit. So please go and sign up for Chrome Dog #1. Again, just put yourself on the email list. Put yourself out there. Let people know. It helps. Everything helps. That's the biggest part about it. Anything we can do to help, that's what we're here to do. I mean, and I think it's funny too, it's like there's no contributions that is small, like, or is insignificant if it's anything. And there's no backer, there's no any of that stuff. And certain things, yes, do move the needle more than others. And I think the mistake that we've never made is confusing internet clout with customers. And, again, I know, not to be a broken record, but, it is what it is. If it's true, what am I going to do about it? But when Eric July talks about that likes and follows are not customers, and customers is what you build a business on. And we've got, customers in this space. And by the way, there is something wonderful about being a customer. The manga industry is not supported by people reading manga for free online. It's not. If you never buy a book, and if you never pay for a book, you are not a part of the manga customer base. It is what it is. I'm not the biggest manga fan in the world, and I'm not saying that because in the rhetorical sense. I mean, I know so many people who are bigger manga fans than I am, and when I saw Berserk and I liked it, I invested in it, and I have 6 of the hardcover volumes up there, the big hardcovers. They're great. That's what makes things happen. That's how we're able to sustain things. If manga was dependent on an audience that just finds the read, comics online PDF or whatever, and just reads these things, it wouldn't work. And when people buy hard copies of old books, like I did with Body Bags Father's Day by the late, pains me to say, and great Jason Pearson, it's keeping the money going. Yeah, the monger, hashtag monger, hashtag not all monger. But this is the thing about it, is that it keeps the currency flowing. That's why eBay is great. It frees up resources. And so I always think that in our space, if we keep ourselves honest and we buy books, that's everything. That's why you see people, like when people say this, I'm sorry, man, like things are expensive right now, but when anybody spends any time talking about ISOM and they're like, ISOM was so expensive, I didn't buy it. It's like, then why are you talking about it? I just don't understand that. Like, jog on. You don't care, so move on. And then they say, well, I wanted to talk about it, but I didn't have the money. And it's like, oh, well, if you don't have the money, then don't talk about it because it's not your business. Why are you critiquing something that you don't even have and have no knowledge of? I don't understand it. I mean, I read ISOM, and I know the story. I know what happens in the book. And even I don't feel compelled to go through it and do a critique of it because it's not. I don't want to turn what I love into my job any more than I already have, which is unbelievably so. Yeah. Shelf units, yep, indeed. Yeah, manga. Hello, John. Let me see here. Oh, here it is. Glasses again, guys. You're going to see me do this every time I stream. I need to, put duct tape on my nose here. God, I bought way too much manga during the lockdowns. A lot of people did. Hail to you, Hyper Wizard. I went from never reading any to having 3 Calyx sheds. Oh, I got what you mean. And you were correcting it. You were saying shelf units. That's right. Full of the stuff. Yes, indeed. Yeah. I can't get into manga. You don't have to. You got American comics here that we're making. But it's just worth pointing out they're successful because somebody's getting into it. Can we do WTT posts here? I don't know what on the world that means. Sorry. I'm old. I'm like... my brain is putting... for those not in the know, The On Christ, the Solid Rock I Stand line is lyrics from My Hope is Built on Nothing Less, a Christian hymn. There you go. Yeah, I sang a lot of those when I was growing up in Tennessee, man. Back when I was growing up in Skokie, Illinois, with Michael Bancroft. I has manga to trade for comics. There you go. It's 8 Comics, Lost Pages. Check it out. 80s Made Consumers YouTube channel. Check it out, guys. Look at you guys. 24 people still in here. 36 likes. You know, this is what it's about. Oh, want to trade. Gotcha. Want to trade. That was... I should have had the common sense to figure that out. Sadly, my lack of common sense is revealed. Orange or teal for payment buttons, as they are considered temporary color psychologically. Thus, they lessen the payment pain. That should help get another customer or two. Wow, dang. Look at you guys. Crowdsourcing, strategy. I love it. Agent Zero Studios YouTube channel. Check it out. John, thank you for dropping links like your Oscar Mayer up in here. I love Guts' theme song. Yeah, I think that guy's art was just incredible, and it just kept progressing. It's such a loss, man. Such a shame. And hail, Phil. Great to see you, brother. People dropping links, man. They love you here. I really need to do more vids or shorts. Hey, listen, man. I know how tough we are in terms of press for time, but everything you guys do helps, so I will always encourage you. My Hope is Built on Nothing Less Than a Great Hymn. Is a great hymn. Easy to sing, too. There you go, Julie. Yeah, I mean, if you can sing, I mean, hey. I can sing a little bit, but I have definitely hurt some songs. I've committed some crimes against music. I used to be an anime and manga expert, but adulting redirected my interest. Timmy Mello, you know I understand. Channel member Timmy Mello, rockstar. Yes, I love it too. There's Irene Rainey's DeviantArt right there, and Fiendish 2 Origins. There's the link right there. Look at you guys, man. You guys are making it rain. I like seeing it. I like where your heads are at. Good stuff. So let's see here. Let me do a little bit of... So funny, because I saw Green Laser's name in the chat. I went, I want to paint something a little bit green right now. So you never know how you're going to influence a painting when you come into this stream. Simple, subliminal message right there can help me to think about what I want to paint next. Get those values in there. And again, guys, we're making magic. We're making magical things happen. I want you to think about, the water and the dampness dripping down on the stones here. I want you to think about every cool haunted house that you've ever been in. I want you to think about every scary story or scary movie that you really enjoyed, but also every adventure story. I want you to have that soundtrack playing in your head, your favorite soundtrack for an adventure movie, playing in your head when you're reading this book. And that's it for me too. And I want you to take it out of the bag or board that you have it in, because that's what it's going to come in. And I want you to take these things out, and I want you to look at them from time to time to get a smile on your face. If I can do that, then that is my symphony, man. That's what it is. There we go. Yeah, man. It's coming together, guys. 29 people watching. Thank you guys so much. The groomsman is here. He was, but I have to now go back and find out what that was. The groomsman, hey, Shanth man, hey, groomsman, how you doing, brother? It's great to see you. My man from the West Coast, that's right. What's up, Aetherline? How are you doing, my friend? John, oh boy, saying hello to everybody, my God. Hello, groomsman. Was Shanth also a groomsman in your wedding? I sure was. He sends me those pictures all the time. The replicant, yeah, what's up, everybody? Yeah, it's not easy being green, but it is a wonderful thing. Did you see Rini on Fourth Age? There you go, boom. Hail, Aetherline. Hail, Aetherline. Hail, Wizard. Hail, Aetherline. Look at all the love in the chat. How far are you through the pages of your book? So the next page I do is going to be page 30. So there's 3 more after that. But my plan is to start, because there were a couple of things I want to do, but my plan is to start the 30th page, by this end of this weekend, if not sooner. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. John, those were fun times, man. That was a cold time in San Francisco, man. I was not prepared for the temperature swing, but it was a blast. I had a great time at his wedding. Is here, so now the party can start. Yeah, that's right. Party can always start. Let's see here. Chrome Dog number 1 sign up sends pics saying, "Remember when you were the skinny?" Oh, you have no idea how true that is with me, man. How skinny I was back then. I think when I came off to college, I was a 28 waist, and I weighed like 111 or 12 pounds, and 5'11". Think about that for a minute. I never asked what size are your pages. I should know this, but I just want to make sure because I've been painting a lot of different stuff for different people. So Let me see here. These are 11 by 15 is the white part of the page, and then they're going to be printed at 8.5 by 11. So it's going to be, like my 2 art books, it's going to be slightly bigger. It's going to be square bound, so perfect bound, so a nice glossy cover. And yeah, I like to paint them big enough so that I can detail, but also at a scale where I can get it inside of the cone of vision, because it makes it easier for me with comics to storytell. Yeah, we had to view the photos sideways to see Shanth. That's rough, dude. Oh my god, but true. Absolutely true. Streaming causes chat illiteracy. You aren't kidding. 80s made. I'm dying, man. I remember the vid of your news interview when you were 15 or so. Oh yes. So when people are like, "How long have you been into comics?" Like, it was my good friend. Yeah, it is small to paint on. I got to be honest with you. Like, when we talk about the detail and what I'm doing, this is my hand, man. Like, this is what, you're talking about in terms of scale. I may do that. If there's money, we are going to do it. I'm thinking about working on pages at twice up. Might be tricky to scan, but I think it will look good. If you scan it in Photoshop and you use the automated feature to stitch it together, then if automated photo merge, it's not that bad. I end up using photo merge for the double page spreads and the bigger pages I'm doing, and it's great. It was, how do I put it? Photo merge and the automate photo merge feature in Photoshop was there long before I figured it out, which is embarrassing. But now, when I scanned in the painting, which is for sale, by the way, for Camel Moon's Boots and Heels, I'm sort of, I tend to be able to sell my paintings for more when they're published. So part of me is kind of holding off on whether or not I should sell that painting. But I did that as a double scan because it was so big for the scanner. So I just scanned it in 2 parts, photo merged it. And when I get him the final file for the back of the trade paperback cover, I'm going to make sure I get a really, a super crisp scan. But yeah, man, that's what it's about. Have you played with the new AI neutral filters in Photoshop? Wild stuff. I have not yet. Oh, man, I've just been hunched over this board. Yep, there's Camel Moon's book. Shanth had to run around in the shower to get wet when he was that skinny. It's totally true. I was dodging water droplets. You think it's embarrassing? Did you know there was an auto merge function? Oh yeah, I'm with you. I know, Stephen Rockwood. Your humor is right up my alley, man. I always work on regular comic image 10 by 15, and I find some figures small. Yeah, I know what you mean, Marcus. You know what I'm talking about. That's the trick about comics. When you start getting into things like windows and details, it is rough. Yeah, John, I can't rag on him. I was just as thin. We looked like we needed charitable donations to survive. Yeah, did our wives consider marrying us charitable donations? I don't know. We'll have to ask. Inquiring minds want to know. What do the filters do? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we were tiny little lads back in the day. And my wife I think my wife is probably a little happier that I'm not that skinny, because if she went to one more family reunion and people said, "You gotta feed him," and it was like, it's not my fault. It's his genetics. I'm taking good care of my man. What are you people saying? What are you people saying to me? Yeah, Mrs. Enjeti always takes great care of me, but she used to get a lot of grief from people who were acting like my goodness. When I show people the pictures, they're just like, how are you still alive? But yeah, she used to get a lot of grief from people who were just kind of like, you gotta feed him. You gotta feed that boy. She was like, what do you want me to do? Should I put him on steroids? Like, come on, man. Let me see here. Moving that. Put that shadow in there. But yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, those were crazy times. Of course, I'd kill for that metabolism now, but here we are. My metabolism got its revenge eventually. Every time I complained about being too skinny has now been adequately addressed by Father Time, still undefeated, by the way, as they say in boxing. Father Time, still undefeated. Oh, we got 27 people, 40 likes. My God, you guys are crushing it. Hyper Wizard, touch up, clean, resize, skin smoothing. Michael, can it remove pounds from a photo? Can it remove my weight? You know what they say about... I shudder to think How was Sean still alive? Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. I started using the at work to upscale low quality. Ooh, that's great. Actually, they're a game changer. Now that I want to talk to you about, because there's a lot of images that I would love to upscale and improve. One of them is a painting that is inspiring the ISOM painting I'm doing right now, which is the Norman Rockwell Samson piece. There are no high-res images of it. SDA, it is great to see you rocking the Optimus Prime. How are you doing, SDA? Man, it's been a minute. Great to see you. Let's see here. It can't perform miracles. That hurt, Michael. I know it can't, dude. I actually went to get a haircut one time, way back in the day when the first Mission Impossible movie came out. And I sat in the chair, and this is what I love about the South. I love about Tennessee. I sat in the chair, and I said, hey, man, can you make me look like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible? And he looked at me, and he goes, I'm not a surgeon. It was awesome, man. Respect, man. It was beautiful. God bless that man. Yeah, indeed, man. Sometimes you got to keep people, paying attention and waving. That's what it is. Check out Wake and Dream. That upscaler sounds great for using small JPEGs and printing customs. Yeah, absolutely. Doing good, SDA. Glad to hear it, man. Sierra Whiskey's No Cover. Check it out. One of the all-time great marketing ideas for a book. I love that. When I first heard about it, I didn't get it. I didn't know what it was about, and then when I found out, I was cracking up, man. That is some great stuff. Great stuff. And it's cool. When my kids are home, I was sitting here working, and I get to listen to my daughter, who plays guitar and is an amazing musician. She's a triple threat. And I get to listen to her make awesome music, and always puts a big smile on my face. Always puts a big smile on my face. Let me see here. Put a highlight in here. And make sure this works. Yeah, we got a lot of... I tell you what, I'm very, very fortunate and very lucky to have blessed to have so many creative people in my life. And it goes with my best friend from this area, my best friend, my wife. Like, everybody is just making really cool stuff. And then everybody's like always letting me know about cool things that I haven't heard of yet creatively, which is great. Admiral Whack-Ass channel member, Shanth's doctor had to prescribe him Waffle House. Yes, he did. I have a prescription level Waffle House. It has to be. You can't get those waffles any other place. And thank you, John, for dropping links. Admiral, it's always great to see you, man. I hope you are doing well. You guys, man, you guys are the best. 41 likes. My goodness, look at you guys going crazy. I love to see it. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Yeah, Whack-Ass is killing me, man. Miriam Noah's Bonds. Yes, indeed. That work looks great, by the way. I saw that. I haven't heard anything about it in a while because, we're all busy either streaming or painting and doing all this stuff. But I remember when I first saw that, and I really loved it. I thought the wolf drawings and everything in it were great, man. Is that book out yet? Is it still funding? Like, what's the scoop on it? Because the stuff I saw was great. Wasn't it black and white? Wasn't it a black and white book, or did it switch to color? Gosh, there was something there. You guys let me know. Michael saying, hey to the Admiral. Always great to see. Just lurking while I get ready for work. Understood, Admiral. Walking in now. Have a great day. Absolutely, my friend. You take care, and you have a great day too, Admiral. We love you. SDA Bogan. Indeed. Yeah. But I remember seeing that. I think Ethan was promoting it at one point on his channel, and I saw it, and I thought, wow, that's some really cool looking stuff, man. And I think they had a pretty good logo for it too, if I recall. But man, it has been a minute. There's so many campaigns. It's like if people aren't streaming or that kind of thing, it's really hard to keep track of what's happening. I think that's why it's so important to stay on top of the streaming stuff. Everybody's going to have, times where, the busyness of life and work and family, you need your attention, and that's understood. And work, the work, how many of us are coming in and out of work during these streams? I mean, we're a productive group of people, so that's going to be the case. And I just think that it's so important to stay on top of that stuff because it's about staying in people's faces, man. Tales of Novitra right there. Indeed. Everybody's saying hello. Miriam, I think, is complete amateur artist, full-time math and English teacher. Her stuff is great. Wow, that is awesome. Yeah, man, we've got some hard-working people in this space. We got some hard-working people, and then you can understand why it's so hard to stream when you have all that stuff going. I mean, I remember streaming when I was teaching and doing that commute back and forth. It was like 90 miles up, 90 miles back. It was so difficult. So I get why, you know, people just have a hard time streaming when they're got a million things going on. You know, it's craziness. Because it's spinning plates and everything is requiring, you know, a lot of your attention. But the book is beautiful, and she should be proud of that, man. The stuff I've seen looks great, you know. Yeah, Haley's Made Consumer, indeed. Tales of Navitra, Sword and Sorcery magazine. Do check it out right there, guys. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Yeah, man. Very cool. So, yeah, we're, let's see here. I think I've got that at a pretty decent point. Got that arm sorted. Got all that stuff sorted. Let me see what else I got to do. Cool. Let me see here. Got that and that. Having that moment of looking at these things and trying to figure it out. Yes, Bonds, the cursed child, is still in the sign-up phase. Understood. That's all I know. Right on. I got you. All right, gang. Let's see where we are. Well, we're almost to 2 hours right now, guys. I've got to get something to eat. I just realized I have not eaten anything all day, and it's like 4 o'clock here. So I probably need to get some food. Yeah, you can stream at 3 a.m. like Coach Malin. Yeah, I tell you what, but the mornings are even more killer than they are now. Let's see here. Yep, check it out. Nerium and Rod Looper will be in our April art auction. Very, very cool, guys. Yeah, sweet. Nice indeed. So, guys, I'm going to wrap up here. Thank you to all of my channel members. Admiral Wackass, speaking of channel members, thank you for being here, my friend. As always, I'm going to play the closing credits that have all of our channel members' names in them, and I appreciate all of you guys being here. If you haven't yet hit the like on this thing, make sure you share out these streams even after they go, and to say, hey, man, check out this art, go get a sandwich. Yeah, for all my lack of eating, I certainly haven't, it's not showing on my weight. But it's one of those things where I'll say all the time, guys, just keep, working hard, keep sharing this stuff out, watch these streams, tell people about them. I get a lot of people watching streams after they come out because they just want to see the painting. Thank you for dropping links. Thank you, 80s Made. You cracked me up the other night, man. It was awesome. And John, thank you for dropping links. You guys are the best. I appreciate you so much. I'm going to play our credits and take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your day, evening, afternoon, or night. And you are very welcome, guys, as always. Take care, and I will see you soon. Peace, and stay gold.